But I want to start by something I found, I think on your website, and it goes like this: jazz plus soul plus libation plus cuisine plus pop art plus film equals
Yeah.
contemporary nostalgia.
Yeah.
Talk about contemporary nostalgia a little bit while we get started here.
I'm just very, very, very deep into pop culture. I don't know where it started, when it started, but
Yeah.
still have the fascination with it now. So I always try to tap into that because I feel like it's relatable to almost anybody.
For sure.
But I also try to bring it to wherever we are in the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
So making the things that are old and still feel good to us new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Talking about, kind of just like how you got started in rap, like a lot of these things I kind of feel like maybe you picked up along the way, like each was maybe a bit of a chapter for you: jazz, then soul, then this, then food, you know what I mean? Because online you have a lot of things going on. I was clicking through your link trees and stuff like that. You're involved in a lot. So I'm curious kind of how you started and then how you got to the point where you're doing so much.
I really can't even think of a time where there was no music. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, where I was actually interested in music, that kind of has always been around. Growing up in Newark, New Jersey, my blood brother was like running around with Naughty by Nature and Queen Latifah and that crew.
Tretch, yeah.
Yeah, that entire time when I was a kid. So it was always people stopping by, and that just was in me.
Yeah.
So writing has kind of always been there. And just along the way, I just picked up more and more and more. And
Yeah.
it was like, rap is dope, right? But then I started to look at the samples, right?
Right.
And listening to Tribe Called Quest, I'm like,
Yeah.
where is this coming from, right? Or where are these melodies coming from, where are these horns coming from? And then before you know it, there's like some Coltrane you're listening to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
just kept building and building.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like the more that you add, very exciting, but like it gets harder and harder to balance. How do you balance everything? How do you keep track of all your links? How do you do all that?
Super tough, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you how many hard drives are just sitting around
Yeah, I'm sure.
with like, I mean, I get people all the time saying, where's this, where's this, where's this? They've seen me. I've learned to shut my mouth.
Right.
But there's been so many times where like I've shown somebody cover art.
Right.
And like this title, right?
Yeah.
And all this music's there.
Right.
And then I'm like, nah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the balance is not really that easy for me.
Yeah.
I just learned that maybe keep some of this in the tuck and like work at a pace that doesn't drive you crazy.
Yeah.
And the pace that doesn't drive me crazy still allows me to put out a decent amount of work, I guess.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? In the intro that I kind of did when it was jazz and soul and cuisine and pop art, the one thing you didn't list was hip hop. And I thought that's interesting because you're a rapper.
Right.
So I guess to you, all of those things combined must be hip hop in some sort of way. No?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think all of those things are in the culture and kind of have always been in the culture. So that wasn't done intentionally, but I
Right.
guess subconsciously it was like,
Yeah.
it's all there.
Yeah, I love the idea of contemporary nostalgia, kind of the old and the new blending together. How do you feel like that impacts your music? Like, do you make an effort to kind of like be a contemporary nostalgist when you write?
No.
No? I was
No.
going to say probably not. And I asked that question kind of with like, I kind of thought I knew the answer just by listening to your music. It's so interesting because it kind of feels like you have your artist career and that goes in one direction. And then you've got this other side of you that's deeper in different ways. You know what I mean? That maybe the music doesn't quite touch, you know? For example, we're going to get into this more. Your project Nork, the one that just came out.
Right.
Dope project. But like, that's an intense, I mean, you're talking your shit, you know? You're really like, on your bully, for lack of a better way to say it, really. But then, like, you get into these other, like, Lush Life and Occupier Barstool, and it's like, it's a lot, you know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
quite as harsh. It's
Yeah.
kind of interesting to see the dichotomy of the two sides of you. Have you ever thought about it like that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah.
They exist, right? And so the Newark Project is really a side of me that people don't see that often.
Yeah.
Because generally I'm pretty even keeled. And that's just it. That's what people see all the time.
Yeah.
And that's where like Lush Life and all of that stuff comes from.
Right.
That's like literally me at my core. But, you know, I still have been in a lot of shit.
Right. Sure.
And it's still all there.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't see a therapist.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't
fair
see
enough.
a therapist
Right.
about
This can be your therapy, right?
Right,
You know,
right,
music.
right.
Yeah.
So then I take that opportunity to collaborate with artists that are like a little more brash,
Right.
and like I get to get that shit off with them.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I like it. I think